It's 15 minutes to 9. So you've got children. Isn't that lovely, isn't it? When a simple walk down to the chemist could have saved a whole lot of suffering. Oh, yeah. And then they come out when they're in their 30s. It's all very confusing, isn't it? Leah Ratcliffe gets involved with parties. She gets bits and pieces together for boys and girls aged 2 to 12. And basically you've got to please the kids, as you know, otherwise there'll be a tantrum coming. Hello, Leah.
Hi, Clive. How are you?
Well, I'm not a little kid anymore. When I was a kid, I didn't like other kids. So if you tried to cater for a party for me, I'd be outside, being grumpy.
Right, okay. Probably not the ideal situation, but we do deal with all sorts of kids here.
So what do kids want? I mean, I know their attention span's about 1 nanosecond, but so how can you, when you put them all together, make any of them happy for any length of time? What's the trick here? Imagine someone has to put a party together. What do they do?
Look, keeping things running quickly, keeping them excited, entertained, lots of action. There is big debates on these days whether you're putting healthy treats out for them, which kids, probably don't love as much as some of the old favourite party foods
really?
that we were all used to.
You think?
But definitely there's lots of different ways with entertainers coming out, clowns, balloon artists, lots of range of different things. I think it's moving more now into the way of having someone come into your home to entertain, or maybe possibly taking them somewhere as well to do the entertainment.
Okay, so you got an entertainer in. Now, realising that a lot of clowns, if they are clowns, can frighten young kids.
Yes.
Is there a risk involved there? Because I don't like clowns.
Look, there is a lot of children that don't like clowns. I think these days probably more your character in the way of a fairy or a pirate, something that's maybe not got their face covered. I definitely find that mascots or characters that are maybe bigger than life size are something that children are, definitely a bit scared of.
Where should you hold the party? Is that going to be a lot of us? They say collateral damage in a house, wouldn't there, with lots of little kids and their little hands and bottoms.
Yes, absolutely. And children these days have so many little friends. They're doing loads of activities, whether it be soccer. Do we invite the soccer friends, the school friends, the dancing friends? A lot of parents are still opting to have parties at home. Houses these days are quite big in some areas, so they can cater for that outdoor activity to keep all the kids outside. But definitely, like our venue here at Funky Planet, we have the children on site. We do everything from preparation, food, drinks, entertainment, clean up. So,
okay, describe your place. What's it like?
Well, ours, there is many different sorts around, but ours is a boutique party venue, so we do one party at a time.
But what's it look like? Is it a big house? Is it a hall? What's it look like?
No, it's a shop front. So, parking, entry. It's in Tarrant Point, so it's in a more industrial area where we are on a main road. Lots of, passing by cars. I guess we get a lot of people that see our signage and come in.
Okay, so if someone, for example, I'm trying to get the idea whether someone could do this at home. Okay. So someone says, I've got a party for these kids. There's going to be 25 of them. Yep. Their average age is about 4. What can you do? The parents are concerned they're going to do the right thing by the kids, and it's going to work.
Yes, okay.
So what choices do you give them?
Well, girls or boys, we would give them a choice of a few different themes that we find would be appropriate for that age group.
Yeah, for example, give me some examples.
Fairies for girls is always popular. Princesses. A lot of people are opting for even more of a pamper or a glamour for girls as well. A craft activity is good to keep them busy. And for boys, moving into that slime making or is something a little bit gross boys like.
Yes. So you do find, regardless of what society says, there is a difference between boys and girls in what they like.
Look, most parties that we do cater for both boys and girls.
Is that a compromise?
Yeah. Look, although we may do a princess theme, all the activities will be very general to keep both boys and girls happy. We definitely wouldn't want the boys not wanting to participate because it was too girly.
Yes, we have a think about girls' germs. All right, imagine someone's got a big house, right? And they've got a big house, and they're saying to you, what do we do? So, I mean, for example, I assume you would hide all the expensive gear. Would that be a good starting point?
Probably, yes. Most people, when we go out and do children's parties as well. We do disco parties at people's houses. The best area for it would be a lounge room, everything moved out of the room, or a garage. The disco lights are all set up.
A disco, the kids like that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very popular choice these days for children.
Are these flashing lights, are they?
Flashing lights.
Do you find out if there are any epileptics amongst the kids first?
Look, we do with our bookings make sure that we take all special requirements into consideration, and we can tailor our parties around that situation.
All right, what sort of food would you get for these kids? Say they're average age 5. You got about 15 of them. What sort of food would you suggest?
With our business, we don't provide the food.
But what would you suggest?
But I would suggest things like a combination of healthy treats, so maybe fruit sticks and sandwiches. But then you've got to make sure that you still keep those little ones happy as well with some lollies, most definitely, some chips, some popcorn, fairy bread, bit of a happy compromise between what the parents want and what the kids want.
Yeah, yes, life is a compromise with kids. And how long can it go for, realising kids of 4 or 5, A, have a low attention span, a bit like sports lovers, and B, get tired easily. So how long should it run for?
If we're talking between 3 to 6 years old, I definitely say an hour and a half is great with a short break in the middle to have a drink and a few nibbles. If we're talking over 6-year-olds, 2 hours is a good amount of time. It does depend on your entertainment. If it's like our entertainment, we keep them captivated and entertained the whole time. So we sort of keep it to that shorter amount of time. But if they were just sort of running around the backyard, if they didn't have entertainers, if it was the parents entertaining with a few games here and there, it probably could go a little bit longer.
Yeah, how many how many parents should there be there?
We see all different sorts with that.
Because you know what parental pride is like?
Yes.
They can get in the way. We all know about soccer games at the Oval on Saturday, don't we?
As many parents is good at a party, there is a lot of unexpected things that happen, whether it be a child tripping over or, there's always unexpected things when it comes to children having a lot of fun and sugar. So you do have to have parental supervision, most definitely. But there is a lot of parties where it'll just be the birthday parents.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The cake. Is that a big choice? That's a big choice, isn't it?
They're a massive choice these days.
Can you get that wrong?
I don't think you can get cake wrong. No, I don't think so. But there is a lot of choice, whether it's your supermarket cake, right up to the places that provide wedding cakes do a lot of children's cakes. So you're paying in excess of $400 for some children's cakes these days.
Gee, it's a lot, isn't it?
It is a lot, yeah. That's something that just gets eaten, yep.
The kids will fight and cry. Is that just part of life, is it?
Look, with parties, it's about keeping them busy to keep them not fighting and crying, I guess, and also the way you handle the situation and, I guess, distracting them.
There's a lot of ifs, aren't there, in this business, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. You work it out pretty quickly.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Leah. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, so there you are. That's Leah Ratcliffe. She's from a place called Funky Planet. I hope we got into more details, but I realise now that there are so many variables there. With a whole lot of kids, because I remember kids want to eat, don't they? Kids, is it goldfish that keep eating till they get sick, or is that a myth? I don't know. They don't talk much, goldfish. They just blow bubbles. But kids will just keep eating until they're sick. That's my memory of the odd party. They just will. And they'll fight, they'll be possessive, and if they're precious little creatures, like, whatever's worse than Generation Y, you really want to have this party, do you? I'm just thinking now, is this really a good idea, is it? You know what it's like. All the parents think their little baby is so precious. My mum didn't. I've mentioned it before. Did I get support from my mum? Not as such. If something went wrong, she'd say, did you do it? Either she had a low opinion of me, which I suspect, or B, it's the sort of thing I would do. I think it might have been a devious little bastard, come to think of it. Perhaps she is quite just to say all that. I do miss her, though. It's 5.5 minutes to 9, so there you are. We attempted the impossible, which is how to have a successful party with kids. Perhaps the answer is no. That's possible.